Hi, I'm Jenny Ray, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and I'm here today to talk about one of the most important questions to respond to in the FIT interview, which is why consulting? I'm going to talk a little bit about why they're really even asking this question in the first place and how to think about your response, as well as 4 different examples of responses that I've received in both preparing people for interviews and actually sitting in the interview chair when I was at Bain. Now, there are a couple of things that are really important to understand first of all. When a firm is asking, why are you interested in consulting? They're not actually completely interested in why you are interested in consulting. They don't want to know in the way that your mom would know or your dad would know why you're interested in going into consulting. They're interested in the answer to actually a slightly different question, which is, why are you a good fit with consulting? And it's important to recognize a couple of different things about this question. So the first is that they're looking for you to demonstrate understanding. They want you to demonstrate that you understand what consulting takes. Not only that you understand it in an academic way, but that you understand it in a practical way, that you have thought about what it will take for you to be a consultant and you've assessed yourself and found yourself to be favorable. Not only that you would enjoy consulting, but also that you would be really good at it. The next thing that's important to understand is that you are good at telling a story. They don't just want you to give facts. I would like to do consulting because of X, Y, and Z. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for you to be able to tell a story around how you became interested in consulting, why it's become more interesting to you, and how it fits into the bigger picture for you. And then finally, it's really important to make sure that you answer the question they're really asking. As I said before, they're not asking why consulting, they're asking why are you a good fit for consulting? And so they're trying to understand, do you understand your audience? Are you good at picking out, when they ask you a pretty straightforward question, what they're really looking for? This is going to be important if you become a consultant in conducting, for example, customer interviews or working with clients in order to extract really important information from them. So let's go on to how you actually answer the question. What I've done is I've broken up answers to this question into 4 different categories. Okay, these 4 categories are the types of questions and responses that I've gotten. So when I ask why consulting, these are the ways that people have responded in the past. The first is a terrible response. And this terrible response demonstrates that you don't understand what question has been asked. Because people, when they respond in a terrible way, they say, I am interested in consulting because of what I will get from it. I will get training, I will get exposure to opportunities, I will get. It is all about you, and it is nothing about how you would be a good fit or what you would add to a consulting environment. So a terrible answer is too selfish and too focused on what you're going to take from a consulting environment. The next type of answer is what I call a lame answer. It's when you say, oh, I've thought about it for maybe 10 seconds, and consulting is something that I think I might be interested in doing because you get to work with really smart people. That answer is so boring that the interviewer could literally fall asleep when you're telling it. So make sure that you're staying away from lame answers that are straightforward, flippant, and not thought out. The third type of answer, which is the baseline for an answer that someone has to give in order to at least be credible inside the interview, is when you talk about 3 reasons why you would be interested in consulting. And these 3 reasons should be well researched, thought out, and have some kind of story behind them. This is the baseline. So it's not the best kind of answer that you can give, but at the very least, come up with 3 reasons why consulting is compelling to you and why you think you would be good at consulting. And then finally, the 4th category, the great category, is obviously the category that I recommend you aim for. And this category says, why consulting? Let me tell you a story. And the story begins with, I was thinking about doing this, and I maybe had a moment of epiphany. In that moment of epiphany, I got to have a conversation with somebody who was really excited about consulting. Here are some things that they told me about it. Maybe you weave in those 3 things that are really impressive about consulting. And then you conclude, now I've taken a look at the broadest industries possible. I've looked at all kinds of alternatives, and consulting is the most exciting for me. Maybe you even give it a quick summary in terms of what about consulting is so exciting. But the great answers are always stories. They're not lists. They're stories. So make sure that as you're thinking about building your answer to the why consulting question, you address with a story what you went through in terms of your process to determine the answer for that question for you. We hope that you've enjoyed this video on why consulting and consulting fit interviews. We hope that you'll join us on our website at managementconsulted.com for even more great material.